Well, the whole game crashing thing was fun and all, but we really do need to get out of Pallet Town, or else I'll be forced to keep going south and most likely crash the game 50% of the time. Yeah, I'm not exactly an expert on this whole nicknaming Pokemon thing. Not like it matters for what we're going to get. What can you nickname something that's mostly just glitch block garbage anyway? I'll man up and say I've actually lost this fight before when I was a wee lad. I don't remember how, I just did. Whatever. I get my money, Oak sends me to do whatever. What was the point of giving the player character a Pokemon in Gen 1 anyway? And I might as well go beat up some critters. Ah, hey, that was fast. Eh? I've seen plenty of critters in my life, and that is not a critter. It's an abomination of God, and it has these random cries that send chills up my spine. At the same time though, it's one of the safest glitches I can catch. Ergo, I must own it. Ah, shit. Unfortunately, there's no Game Shark code that I know of that doesn't require you to get balls from a Pokemart. Guess we're gonna have to go grab Oak's parcel real quick. Might as well faint the thing for giggles. Well, good lord, I can't even touch the damn thing. It also knows Confuse Ray, one of the worst moves ever invented by Game Freak. I'm sure we all have a story involving this stupid move. All we can do is run away, and even then I had to spam run because I had several can't escape messages. This thing is faster than my level 6 starter Pokemon, and it's only at level 2. This must be mine. I'm sure everyone watching is aware why I have to get Oak's parcel to grab Pokeballs. Interestingly enough though, I could go to the Pokemart in Cinnabar, but that takes a while, and I'll most likely run into something that'll destroy my Squirtle, and then I'll have to start over, and it would just be annoying, okay? Let's not. Regardless, after doing all that, I can now buy Pokeballs from the Pokemart. In my case, I can buy free Master Balls. You may also notice I have an obscene amount of money. I just have a code on, just in case I need to buy a bunch of Hyper Potions or some shit. Yoink! Oh hey, it even has its own Pokedex entry. Doesn't have any generalization where those ellipses are. I guess that's its generalization? It's pretty tall, and check out how fat it is, over 8,000 pounds. And it can run faster than my Squirtle at level 3. This thing is fucked up. Let's check out the description. Oh, well, that's not normal. Fuck, the Pokedex is breaking, the text is eating me, goddammit. Okay, so when you try to view the Pokedex entry for H Pokey, that's the official name for this guy, the game will pretty much lock up playing these random distorted cries and tunes until you turn off the Game Boy. This happens for almost every glitch Pokemon because of their cries. You see, H Pokey and friends have different cries almost every time they're released, /stat, viewed, faint, etc. Because of this, if I understand my sources correctly, the Pokedex can't properly play H Pokey's cry, causing it to go nuts. Which explains the strange text. Weird how Rocket appears twice. Here's a little game for the viewers at home. Try identifying all the tunes and cries played. You won't get anything out of it, but if you're really bored, be my guest. Anyway, I got sidetracked there for a bit, but there is actually a remedy to this. In the Pokedex, H Pokey is identified as number 94 out of 151. When playing the game regularly, 94 is Gengar, the Ghost Poison type. This explains why Wordle wasn't able to hit H Pokey earlier, why H Pokey has moves like Confuse Ray, and why it has impressive stats for a Pokemon at such a low level. It also means that if we get our hands on a Gengar that view its Pokedex entry normally, we can completely bypass H Pokey's Pokedex entry and then just have them. Luckily, with a Game Shark and an emulator, such a task is easy to do. Yeah, Gengar's looking a bit goofy on the battle screen, but he's completely normal by the time you see his Pokedex entry. Notice how Gengar's height and weight are completely different from H Pokey's. I have no idea why it's like this, and it makes me wonder where the game got such huge numbers from. Either way, we now own H Pokey without having the game explode. Since the Pokedex can't give us a good definition for this dude, I'll give myself the honor. H Pokey is probably the safest PokeGod, more on why I'm calling it this later, that you can catch in red and blue. Besides screwing up your Pokedex and crashing your game, this dude is harmless. H Pokey also has the same behavior as another famous glitch in that it might scramble up battle sprites a bit or mirror them, as well as messing with the Hall of Fame. Encountering apparently saves your game automatically, which explains why right before you fight him there's a long black pause before the battle screen shows up. And it apparently evolves into a Gloom at level 224, good luck with that. And if you're wondering, I made H Pokey appear with the GameShark code 01C3DHCF. Alright, I guess it's time to explain to you why H Pokey is one of the many PokeGods. What is a PokeGod, you may ask? Well, back before the internet became widely used, some smart dudes that did know how to use it decided to spread some rumors on PokeGods around the internet. Somehow, these rumors just fucking blew up. Anyone who was anyone knew what a PokeGod was, and if you owned a PokeGod, you were the king of the playground. Trouble is, PokeGods don't exist. At least not the ones the internet originally spread around. No one knew exactly how to get a PokeGod, so of course many crazy rumors came up, and even more PokeGods were made up as well. At first, you only had Mew 3 or Peekaboo, aka Meryl, but then shit like Charcoat, Karusu, Primator popped up, and it just got ridiculous. Eventually the fad died down as the internet rose in popularity and everyone wised up. There was a general acceptance that there was no Pokemon over the Pokedex number 151 in the Gen 1 games. Just as a sidebar, I remember seeing a page that was full of these GIFs of PokeGod Pokedex entries that was actually really cool, so if anyone knows a link to that, please show it off, because I can't find it. However, to the surprise of many, PokeGods did in fact exist. Now, this is going to get confusing, so just try to stick with me here. Math is involved, so be careful. You see, in most Game Boy games at the time, there were variables where you could insert in data ranging from 0 to 256. In Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, these data slots were used to insert Pokemon information. However, only 151 of these slots were used. That means that there are still... 256 minus 105 unused slots. The programmers need to fill that space in with something, and that's where the glitches come in. See, H Pokey and others aren't exactly PokeGods in the fact that they're super powerful or versions of future generation of Pokemon. They are PokeGods in the fact that they were legitimate data that would have been a Pokedex number of over 151, which was the original appeal of the PokeGod. This explanation applies for pretty much every glitch we fight in battle, and now you know why it happens. TLDR, PokeGods are placeholders. But if you want a more experienced explanation, Something Awful user Start Clamp has you covered.
Oh, hey, I've programmed Game Boy before. I can field this one. Although it's actually a general programming thing, really. There's a defined start of the Pokemon data, and each Pokemon's data is in there in a very organized fashion, one after another. As it needs to be accessed, the game looks Pokemon number multiplied size of one Pokemon's data, past the start of the Pokemon data, and it finds the information it needs. Trouble is, the game is on an 8-bit, so the highest number is 255, not 151. And when you're loading from something that wasn't supposed to be used to load this data, there's no guarantee it'll be in the range 1 to 151. So it's just not, as is the case here. But data for things that aren't Pokemon is what's after the Pokemon data. So looking at the code, I couldn't tell you what that data is, but it's not Pokemon data. So the game looks for Pokemon data well past where it actually exists, and as a result gets data that is, for all intents and purposes, completely random. Predictable, but not useless data. So they're not placeholders exactly. They're just there. It's like if you had a book that was so many pages long, and you tried to see what was in the book a few pages more than that in. That's part of the hardcover, which isn't paper and doesn't have text. But if you could somehow look at that part, say you cut open the cover, you'd see all the not text that was there. And then Pokemon Blue takes a look at it and says, "That looks about right," and declares that not text to in fact be text, and reads it, declares it a Pokemon, and shoves it onto your screen. And then your Game Boy / emulator responds with a, "What the hell did you just put in me?" and spazzes out.
Okay, maybe it wasn't so hard to explain, but now we have a true PokeGod in our group, and there will only be more. Since H Pokey is part ghost, it is literally a monster at this point in the game. Barely anything can hurt it, and it has Nightshade for an attack. Even when it does get hurt, H Pokey seems to be able to take a beating. Including placeholder Pokemon, there are also placeholder moves and even placeholder items. Placeholder, placeholder, placeholder. In H Pokey's case, he has the placeholder move HMO2. HMO2 is just a really weird type. I mean, I can explain types that are named after trainers, and I will, and I did. But this is just beyond me. From some limited experimenting, this typing doesn't seem to be super effective, not effective against normal, bug, rock, and ground type. Also, accuracy is probably determined by moves, because this thing has terrible accuracy. Also, when H Pokey learns HMO2, the PP isn't filled all the way up, and after going to the Pokemon Center, the max PP can sometimes double the original amount. The attack itself is pretty rad. There's no animation for it, the enemy's life bar just drops. It acts like any absorb/drain attack in which the enemy loses health while the user gains some. I like to think H Pokey sucks into Rattata with some powerful force, and as the Rattata enters the glitch mass, its bones slowly dissolve into painful anguish. Pokies for the PokeGod. I think we have a decent enough moveset and level to fight Brock now. On my way to Pewter City, you can see something neat using the walkthrough walls code. You can completely skip Viridian Forest. In the southern entrance, you can see a cuttable tree using the code, but cutting it does nothing. Why is it even there? At the northern entrance, there's actually a small patch of grass just out of view when playing normally. All I found here are rats and Pidgeys, but it makes me think why it's there. Was Game Freak planning to have Viridian Forest be part of the route and not a completely separate area? Why weren't there more rumors on that grass patch? I mean, not only can you take an easy screenshot of it, but you can walk and encounter Pokemon in it. I just find it weird. Don't know why I'm so fascinated with a patch of grass. With these questions left unanswered, I go and fight shirtless, creepy, mood-lit Brock. Shouldn't be too hard. It wouldn't be hard if it wasn't for the fact that I tried using HMO2 on Geodude like 20 times and it didn't hit once. I'm not kidding you. HMO2 did not hit this Geodude once. I eventually gave up and Confuse Raid/Nightshaded it. But god, how disappointing for a glitch move. Right after I was singing your praises too. For shame, HMO2, for shame.
Because it's not supposed to be move data. Why would it have 100% accuracy? That would be very unlikely, since it's effectively random. In this case, while HM02 does have 177 power, its accuracy is a mere 6%. Actually, every glitch move is terrible, with the exception of TM05, which in red-blue increases the user's evasion 3 stages. Use it once and everything's chance of hitting you is halved, twice and it's reduced to 1/3 of its normal value. But is only learned in yellow, where it has the different, less beneficial effect of freezing the game. If you want to hack it onto one of your Pokemon, its move ID is CD, or 205.
Once again, Stark Champ has the answers. Okay, we're done for now. Perhaps not as crazy as last time, but I like working my way up from the stable to the insane. First update is like a teaser. Next time I will blow everyone's mind. I won't say how, but I will be mind-blowing. Here's a little something extra to tide you over. You can actually get into the Viridian Gym early with the walkthrough walls code, by entering the door from any direction that is not south. But I wouldn't recommend it.